Hey, don't forget to check out Rant Cafe wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, and so on. You can watch the episodes live as we make them on Twitch, links in the description. And of course, the links to all of our guests in each episode are in the description, so show them some love. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Everybody. It's Animac here from the YouTube and Twitch channel Anime Uproar, and welcome to another episode of the Rant Cafe. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the phenomenon that has been taking over anime seemingly for the last few years, and that is Isekai anime in which the main protagonist is transported to another world.
Holy cow. Since you said it so slowly, it blew my mind. Also, definitely your most eloquent intro yet.
Thank you, Nux. Now, joining me today, we have, believe it or not, Nux Taku.
Hi, guys! Thanks for having me back on my own podcast. True pleasure to be here, as always. Continue introducing the members.
Good work. Also, we got Briggs, Lord Brigo from All Day Anime.
Yeah, luckily I was able to make it this week as well. Not that I'm here every week, but it's okay.
Not like he's here every week or anything, baka.
So you don't want me to introduce him? All right, Nux.
Look, and you don't understand, Animac. If you don't introduce us, we will make fun of you for not introducing us. And if you introduce us, why are you introducing us? We're the co-hosts. We're here every week.
No, exactly. I can't win. I can't win.
You
and finally,
win.
last but not least.
This is what you must etch into your heart. You cannot win.
Last but not least, we have the Moomin Rider of Anatube hiding in public.
What's up, gamers?
That's actually a huge compliment, honestly. The Moomin Rider.
Huge compliment, man.
I really can.
You realize this guy fought Garrow head on. Garrow smashed his head into the ground forever, and he barely had any scratches on it.
He also did a justice crash on the Deep Sea King.
And let's not forget, he can cycle while standing.
If only he was wearing a tank top. If only.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, there were some people on Twitter saying that they could cycle while standing without handlebars.
I was hiding.
I said you're a liar.
Yeah.
I think that's physically impossible, actually.
I think
unless you have a superpower.
Not even Saitama could do that.
I don't know. I'm currently pissed that we didn't get to see Moomin Rider in Avengers Endgame. I thought he would be a great addition to the team.
Me too. Honestly, I might have gone and seen the movie.
Yeah, well, now you spoiled me because I didn't know if we were going to see him, and I haven't seen the movie yet.
Oh, well. Spoilers! He ain't there.
Lame.
Josuke can cycle while using a stand. That was the best comment I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Now
that you've mentioned stands, it's the perfect time to interject and say, did you see the latest episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
But of course.
JoJo's is not an isekai yet, so we got to stay on topic.
Yo,
what prompted?
Hold on. We're talking about JoJo's for a second.
No, we're not talking about JoJo's.
We are talking about JoJo's.
We are not talking about JoJo's.
I very clearly remember starting to talk about JoJo's.
No, I know you remember it, but I'm not. I don't remember it. So, speaking of isekai,
just like he doesn't remember admitting Megaman was a viable option. Speaking of isekai,
I mean that's related to isekai, so I'll allow it.
All
but
right.
What really sparked this conversation for us and this topic was this new anime called Isekai Quartet, which is airing currently this season, and it is a short chibi show that basically brings together 4 different isekai: ReZero, Konosuba, Overlord, and Tanya the Evil. And they are basically transported into another world, which is a high school in Japan, and then they're all studying in a Japanese high school. And it's pretty funny, but it did make us think about all the crazy popular isekai that have been coming out lately, and how much that genre, if you can call it a genre, seems to be taking over the industry in some ways.
It's funny because these are all characters that were transported to another world, and now they're transported to another world.
Another world.
Another world, yes.
That's the humor of the Isekai Quartet.
And
all in all, I would say that it's not particularly funny. Isekai Quartet, it's not like my favorite anime ever, but I do appreciate the memes. Because, as you all know, memes are not necessarily funny. Memes just need to be super obscure references that you get. So, therefore, Isekai Quartet's a sick meme.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the dialogue a lot. I thought it was cool seeing the I feel like it won't be something that I'm going to look forward to every week. Like, it's not going to be my favorite anime, like you said. But it's cool to see these characters that I like from animes that I've watched all interact together and with each other. So I'm down for another couple episodes. I watched all 3 before this podcast actually, and
Yeah.
I want to see where it goes, even though it's still probably gonna be pointless.
Yeah, the episodes are all short, like 10 minutes, and it's basically, obviously, none of it is canon. It's just jokes, and it's for fans of the shows. To appreciate it, you have to have seen all 4 of the Isekai shows.
What do you mean it's not canon, bro? I was gonna use it to power scale Ainz. Fuck.
It's funny because he physically freaked out. If you're just listening to this audio-wise and not on Twitch or YouTube, you missed Briggs like actually getting up out of his chair in
He
anger.
took damage from Aqua, which means he's not immortal, and therefore he loses. I'm just playing.
Well, he automatically loses Saitama now.
Well,
right?
bro,
But of course.
clearly power scaling is your new thing, Briggs. So do it.
Dude, it's actually fucking hilarious. Like, I feel like I had no exposure to the power scaling community whatsoever, and I was just kind of thrown into it now. And the amount of kids like that are just like literally DMing me and like messaging me on Discord, debate me, bro. You're fucking like I won't get into it, but like it's actually disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there.
Fun times. I found one thing I found really funny in Isekai Quartet. It was in the first episode when the ReZero gang comes in.
I was about to say that.
Well, I'm taking it. Okay.
Go for it.
The ReZero gang comes into the class last, and Ram and Ram are commenting on, oh, look at all these different people here. And Ram is like, oh, Subaru, don't worry, I will sacrifice myself to protect you. And Subaru's like, sure. And then Amelia's like, oh, look, we can make a bunch of new friends. And he's like, oh my God.
Hi, Amelia Khan.
You're such an angel, Amelia.
I know, I love that. That was amazing because they take all the gimmicks of the different shows and they apply them in this classroom with everyone else there.
It's very
Like, for
self-aware.
example, you have. I'm sorry.
It's very self-aware.
It's
Yeah.
very self-aware. Like you have Tanya sitting in her chair, like that self-proclaimed being called God is trying to trick me into acknowledging his existence by throwing me into another world. Well, you know, she goes on this whole inner monologue. Like whatever, it takes all the memes of the different shows and it puts them together and, you know, throws them against each other. So that really prompted me to think of isekai anime because it is taking over in a certain, you know, to a certain extent. We are getting like 2-3 isekai anime every season. It's as isekai is not per se an established genre like action or fantasy or sci-fi, but there are more isekai anime coming out than any of the other individual genres.
It's actually crazy. Yeah. Like I'm someone who looks forward to sci-fi anime, and sometimes we'll get like 1 or 2 a season, and then you look and you get like 4 isekai based on light novel adaptations, and it's just like I enjoy them. I do.
And all their
But-
titles are, did you know that if you pick up 16 girls in another world, your dick becomes blue? It's like
Yeah.
every single title. It's like,
Well,
oh,
that would
I've
be-
seen that one.
That would
All
be
right.
a good Magi isekai.
So someone actually commented, "What the hell is an isekai?" So I feel like we should define it. Maybe like say where like when isekai started becoming popular, and just get into the whole conversation.
Well, sure. Although I did say it briefly at the beginning because I know how to do an intro, everybody.
Yes,
But
eloquently.
Debatable.
Isekai is an anime where you are transported to another world. The protagonist is transported to another world, usually a fantasy world where there's magic and cool stuff that he did not possess in his own world, which is usually the regular normal world that we live in. So
75% of the time, it goes by RPG mechanics, and it gets a harem.
Yeah.
yeah, so one of the earliest ones that I can remember is
Digimon!
Escaflowne.
Digital monsters!
No, the Vision of Escaflowne, I'm pretty sure, is even older than Digimon.
I don't think so, fam.
Well, I feel like it's always kind of been a thing, but I do think
No,
like
it is
Sword
always-
Art Online and like No Game No Life and those
Right, I
type
feel
of
like
shows
Sword
is when
Art
it
Online
really
kicked
hit
it off.
hard. Yeah.
Sword Art Online kicked it off because then all of a sudden there were so many trapped in a game, trapped in another world anime that were coming out to try to catch up to Sword Art Online's hype. And at that point, we were getting so many isekai anime. Like there were many isekai anime that went on in the past. There was Escaflowne, there was Digimon, there was Inuyasha's an isekai anime.
There was
Yeah.
Greed Island.
hmm
There was Greed Island.
Technically, that's the same world.
Yeah, I guess. There was the the last arc of the OG Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah,
And
I was gonna say that as well.
Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I mean,
But-
there were isekai anime.
Yeah.
I guess.
Or even like Dot Hack, which is the same idea as Sword Art Online, and
Dot
it was
Hack,
actually pretty
Excel
similarly successful. Yeah. And even before that, like if you look at like, I mean, I'm not gonna get all super weeby on everybody, but like isekai as like a literary genre before like anime and stuff even took off has been huge for a long time, but definitely not. I don't feel like as much at the cultural forefront as it is now. Like, well, like you guys have already said, you get like multiple every single season.
It's gotten to the point that people are actually like arguing whether or not it should be classified as a genre. Like,
Right.
Allow me just to say this after doing some research on Google. The Vision of Escaflowne came out in 1996, at least a year before Digimon became a franchise of virtual pets, so way before it became an anime.
before I
Right,
was born.
fair
Stated my.
But yeah,
opposite of
I mean,
myself there.
there's a clear. Obviously, there's been isekai, so to speak, even outside of anime, so like Chronicles of Narnia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with anime, it's become its own different thing with its own like memes and things within there.
And I think it's
also-
partially because anime, you know, to a large extent, is used as an escapist fantasy for many people. So this is literally watching an escapist fantasy. So you can relate to that.
I love
Yeah,
how they
and-
don't even care at this point within isekai to explain like I feel like when it started off with SL World and Sword Art Online, like we had an idea as to how they got into the world, why they were in the world, so on and so forth. And now it's
Now it
kind of like,
doesn't
oh,
matter anymore.
Yeah.
let's just boom, you're in a new world.
At one point, they were like, we feel the need to justify this to our audience. Like, how does this make logical sense? And by this point, they're just like, okay, yeah, you get it. Let's come on. Let's go. Let's
Fantasy
get to the good
world.
part."
You might as well have just started the story in a fantasy world, but you want that little isekai clickbait. Like he started. No, he's from Japan. He's from Tokyo. Don't
No,
worry.
but the really
but
cute
boom,
part
fantasy
is,
world.
it's like, you don't even need the he was born in Japan, in Tokyo, whatever. Like, you'll have people that are born and die and just, like, grow up as, like, a baby in another world that never even reference the first world that they were. Like, Knights and Magic, for example. That's
Yeah.
like, there was this salaryman guy. He was doing his thing. He was working hard. Otaku, whatever. He eventually dies. He's born in another world. He grows up as this trap knight thing and whatever. Like, they never even like reference the world that he came from originally. This didn't need to happen at all. It's just, I don't know. It's aiming for that escapist, relatable twist.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, that kind of proves that isekai is becoming a genre because you don't have to make a justification for how they go into the world. It's just kind of become understood that this is what happens and just go with it. Whereas I feel like back in the 90s, something like Escaflowne, like there were certain
In Japan, 2020,
There
more
were
than
certain-
ever, high school neets are jumping in front of trucks, and we don't know why.
there were certain like tropes, like it's a fantasy world with different types of creatures, including like cat girls, cheetah girls, stuff like that. But it was definitely not as memey and RPG-esque as the more modern one.
Give me that Fox girl, dude. Give me that Fox girl.
If we're
We
not
ta-
talking
can we
about
talk-
schnick girls, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about, boys.
Can we talk about reverse isekai? I love
Yes.
the best reverse isekai this season, Senko-san.
I'm not even watching it.
Yeah, Fox girl.
Was Devils a part-time technically? A
Oh, is that
reverse
the one
isekai?
that we had some cool tweets about on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Okay, never mind.
No idea
Yeah,
what
but
you guys are even talking about, man.
Nothing. It's better not to know. We'll tell you after the stream. But in other news, as far as reverse isekai anime, that was also always sort of a thing. Like, you had Devil's a part-timer.
Probably honestly, a lot of people got upset that I didn't include it as an isekai, but I just never considered it one. But it's probably one of the best, I guess, reverse isekais out there.
Don't
Yeah.
forget a modern classic.
Oh, Recreator's a modern classic.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, would
I
Fate
think
be a
that needs-
reverse isekai?
I wouldn't consider Fate an isekai.
A reverse isekai.
Fate is summoning people into your own time from different times to take place in a war. It's not really... It doesn't deal with the mechanics of the new world that they're inhabiting at all.
I suppose.
I feel like that's part of what isekai is.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like they're
it's
just
not a
like
clear
summoning
cut one.
people.
I mean, even Dragon Maid is kind of an isekai, a reverse isekai.
Kinda.
You know,
I think
Like
it's
all-
fair.
all the dragons popping into this world and I mean, not only are they dragons, but they're lesbian dragons. So that's
Lesbian dragon lollies
that's
that are
very
immortal.
I
And
love immortal lesbian dragon lollies.
potentially over like hundreds of years old. It's cool.
Yeah. Just like the fox girl in.
That's right. 800 years old.
There we go.
Senko-san. She's a fox. What can I say?
And this exchange right here proves why Isekai is ruining society.
That's true.
I'm
No,
so glad we
Animac.
didn't title the stream. Animac wanted to title the stream, "Is Isekai ruining society?" And the answer is no.
I think it's ruining my love life.
I know. So that's a good point, hiding in public. Because, yeah, like people could argue that with all this sort of fantasy isekai stuff happening right now, and with modern technology and the potential in the future, if you can literally, get to a point where you can live most of your life in a virtual world when virtual reality gets, more advanced, are you even going to care about having a family and children and reproducing the next generation that society needs to survive, especially talking in the context of Japan with their low birth rates? It's like, is this type of mentality, it's like, I want to escape into a fantasy world instead of dealing with real life, is this potentially socially harmful?
I think it's beneficial because we have a population problem. Let's get that fucking birth rate down, boys.
I was about to say, Animac, that's like actually like profoundly deep thing to say. Like that's something that I've heard like discussed in like a couple of my philosophy classes and stuff in the past. Is like the whole idea of if you could have whatever life you want and you could pre-program it and then jump into the machine, would you do it? And like the philosopher who proposed it said that no, nobody would jump in. But like, would you? I mean, if Senko-san was, I mean, maybe.
Well, I like how you were surprised that I say profound philosophical things, bro.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
we
just like
actually got
so
into
far the conversation. And
Do you
then it was
remember
like,
when we were discussing, we did a tournament arc on the best anime world, and we ended up discussing Sword Art Online versus like Pokemon or something.
Yes.
And
Pokemon
we
got so deep, man.
we got into such a massive argument about like the philosophy of the world of Sword Art Online, where you can live your entire world in VR. But is that really life? Is that life, or is that false reality? But if it feels real, does it matter if it's false?
exactly. That's
And we got into that
a
whole
tricky
argument.
thing.
Yeah, and then we could get into the whole idea of what is the self,
Actually, speaking of what Hiding was talking about earlier, if like you could program it to be like a perfect world, it was actually like something I was thinking about in regards to like One Punch Man. When everything's easy and there's no conflict, sometimes it's like depressing, right? Like the whole concept of Saitama. So if everything is perfect and there's no struggle, then do you really feel good about like everything being perfect and the rewards that are just like easily given to you?
Yeah, I think people acclimate to their circumstances. Like if you have a certain type, like let's say if you have like consistently 2 out of 10 days, and one day you have 4 out of 10 day, you're gonna be pretty happy you had a 4 out of 10 day. But if you consistently then eventually have 4 out of 10 days, and then one day you have a 3 out of 10 day, that's better than your days used to be. But you'll probably be still pretty ticked about it.
Dude, I could relate to that so much. I was gaining like 800 subscribers a day for a little bit, and then I have like a 600 subscriber day, and I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. But realistically, for the whole month prior, I was having like 100 subscriber days. So that's still like way more. But like because of what I was feeling for the last couple of days, it felt like I was going downhill, even though it's still an increase,
No,
To be
I
fair,
feel
you need
that
to
too.
Upload more videos.
To be fair, I just wrote 3 exams, boy, and I'm free now. I'm a free elf.
Congrats, man. Also, Hiding, bro, you're coughing a lot. You okay? You have some isekai disease?
Yeah, yes.
Isekaitis.
Yo, beautiful.
I'm trying to cough away, but yeah, no, I'm probably gonna be dead next week.
Well,
Or
I'm
not.
glad we had you on this Rant Cafe, man. Thanks for coming. His last week around, and
I'm on the up, hopefully.
all right.
I wanted to touch on Briggs thing though. Like I definitely connect to that though. Like I was having like this month so far has been my best month for my channel ever, and I was like so hype and so happy and so great. Then my last video like completely underperformed, and instantly my mood is completely screwed. And it's
Yeah.
like you're
Dude.
doing way better than any other month in your entire channel's history. Why are you being a baby?
Dude,
I feel
I
that,
know
man.
exactly what you're talking about. I have a
Yeah,
feeling
we know
every
you know
every single YouTuber goes through this.
Yeah. No, I feel it.
I'm telling you, man, like I've always had this idea, like So I've like for example in high school, like I played hockey my entire life, like AAA, AA, very high level. And people would ask me like, "Why don't you play for the high school hockey team?" I'm like, "Dude, I play hockey every day. Like I'm already good at it. I want to learn something new." I went and played badminton and tennis, shit I've never played before, and I sucked. But it's way more like fulfilling to start at the bottom and work your way up than just like be
Hmm.
good at something off the start. Because if I went and played for a shitty like school hockey team, I would be expected to be amazing versus
Yeah.
going into something like badminton and starting your that's also the same way with anime, man. I enjoy watching underdog stories versus someone who's already like starting off like notorious or like already at like finished their story, for example.
Are we just gonna ignore the fact that Briggs plays badminton?
Badminton is fucking sick, bro. It's actually an amazing
Okay.
sport.
I promise this isn't going to be the episode where I just piggyback on everything that Briggs says, but I want to say I definitely connect to that too because I feel like it's so much more satisfying to go from 0 to 80% than to go from 80 to 90%, even though 80 to 90% is technically better.
I 100% agree. The Body Improvement Club from Mob Psycho 100 is amazing. I love them.
They're the best. They're the best isekai characters.
Yes, I agree.
The one thing you guys mentioned that I want to definitely touch on is the whole idea of if you're living a perfect life, what does that really mean for you? And I was looking at a video right now I'm working on Saitama from One Punch Man, and I'm also it's related because it's like if you don't have any challenges to face in life because every problem is either resolved for you or you're so strong that you can resolve any problem really easily. Can you ever be truly happy? Because it's like you think you might be, but if you look at like the Garden of Eden concept, so if we lived somewhere where we had everything, we never had any challenges, we never had any fears, anything to overcome, we would actually become pretty bored and miserable with our lives. I think we would have no sense of satisfaction at actually conquering a challenge.
Well,
We
there
would
was actually
stagnate.
an episode of Twilight Zone. I don't know if any of you've seen it. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
old. I haven't seen all of.
Apparently
obviously.
they're redoing it.
Oh, really? That's cool. Well, anyway, there was an episode of Twilight Zone. I don't remember exactly what went down, but so there was this guy, not a very good dude. I don't know. He was like a burglar and a gambler and whatever. And he ended up dying and like going to heaven sort of. And an angel went to him and said, "Would you like to go to heaven or to hell?" And he's like, heaven. So the angel's like walking him around and he's winning everything he's doing. He wants to steal. He steals. He doesn't get caught. And every time he gambles, he always wins. And he gets all the babes. And everything's going great for him. And he starts really hating it because, like, every time you roll the dice, if you always get the best number, there's no fun to gambling.
Yeah.
There's no meaning to anything if everything's so simple. And he's like, "Yo, angel dude, I was thinking about it. Maybe I'll try the other side." And the angel says to him, "This is the other side."
Oh,
Oh,
That's pretty
Twilight
cool.
Zone is an isekai confirmed.
Hell yeah.
true.
Just to
No, but-
comment on what Animac was saying before, there's actually in season 2 of One Punch Man, we got a little flashback of when he was helping King, and he looked so happy even though he was fully wounded. Like he probably had a really really tough battle before he like lost his hair and achieved his like immeasurable strength, and he looked truly happy in that moment because he was like pursuing a goal, right? And
That's
now
probably
it's
the
kind of like
happiest we've seen him.
exactly like I've actually never seen him smile like that other than that moment.
And to
Yeah.
bring this back to isekai, that's like when we were talking about like earlier, what if should you live in a virtual world if you could make it like the perfect world? That's the whole thing. What if humanity decided to live mostly in virtual worlds where everything is perfect? We would stagnate as a species. We would have no progress because we would not need progress. And it's possible that, several generations later, we would be intellectually completely different. Like we would be very docile, almost like animals in a zoo, right? So I think that it's a really deep question to think about.
Yeah, it would like it could be argued that it would like really separate you from reality, right? The more you would enjoy talking to virtual characters or involving yourself with virtual families or even like that's like honestly relates to the whole thing
Yeah.
versus like porn versus actual experience. Like it separates you. I was watching a podcast right before this about that, a Joe Rogan podcast actually.
Hell yeah.
But honestly, we should be talking about isekai. What are we doing?
I did bring it back to isekai, bro. You were the one talking about badminton at school.
Dude, badminton's unreal. It was worth it. It's actually one of my favorite sports.
And you're still talking about badminton.
Good memories. I got pretty good. I got
IQ's
to
an
tier
isekai.
1, and then Michael Chang fucked me every time, bro.
Shout out to Michael Chang.
Yeah. Well,
Now, the
I
one
don't
thing
know.
wanna
I feel
bring
like
up-
a lot of reasons why depression is prevalent these days is a lack of accomplishment. So much is given to us on a golden platter. So, I mean,
Not
in
even
comparison.
gold.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I'm saying not even silver, gold.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting because these isekais often they are empowerment fantasies, right? It's like, hey, you're a regular guy, no one really cares about you. You like anime, like the people watching this, and you like manga and stuff. Well, guess what? You can go into a magical world where you have a special role to play and OP powers, and everyone,
And a smartphone with a harem of bitches.
or all these girls like you for some reason, or it's subverted, like it's the opposite. Everyone hates you for some reason, or it's all a joke, like in Konosuba. But the point is that these
Konosuba is
fantasies,
amazing. How dare you call it a joke? You clearly don't understand the deep philosophical messages of Konosuba.
it's a good joke, okay? It's
I
a
already
good-
convinced everyone that One Punch Man is deep and philosophical and stuff, so now we have to start working on the next one.
I do think One Punch Man is deep and philosophical. I think you're right.
Yeah, One Punch Man is
think-
one of the greats. Top 5 anime ever.
Yeah, not to get like all depressing and stuff, but we're kind of like I think like dancing around the edge for it. I think whenever it comes to like a lot of depression and stuff like that, and people who are into this more like otaku culture stuff, of course, keeping in mind that all this stuff's made in Japan, like the birth rates are going down. The in general, people aren't having sex. Even in America, something like crap, what was it?
Yeah, I know.
I think it's like 38% of men from 18 to 29 in
I said
America
23
haven't
to
had sex or something like that.
No,
It's
not
something
that
crazy.
they haven't. That like they haven't within the last year or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's like it's really getting to the point where people are reconsidering the sort of like what's worth it, because it's so much easier, it's so much less expensive to just sit and immediately get that sort of gratification and everything from the stuff around you, especially in like a Japanese environment where it's much more, I think, strict, where you're a salary worker or you are just more intensely, lot less free time, a lot less time to pursue these sort of things outside of your business. You just come home at night and you do something that you enjoy. And for a lot of people, that is anime, manga, video games, stuff like that. It's how they rewind after a day. I mean, that's how it is in America too. But I think generally the work structure is not nearly as rigorous as in Japan. Obviously, people overwork themselves to death and stuff like crazy. Suicide rates are crazy high. It is, I think, definitely the rising isekai could be a result of the sort of modern culture's backlash and sort of response to the long-standing kind of work environment of Japan.
Yeah, like on the one hand, it's not that deep in the sense that, oh, it's a fantasy and people like it, and they make them because people keep buying them. But like on another level, the reason why there so many people are into it and keep buying and reading and watching this stuff is because, yeah, like you said, they might feel that their life is just too mundane. And because they feel their life is mundane, they want an escape into some colorful, magical world where all these girls love you and you have all these powers and a smartphone.
Especially the
And a
smartphone.
Yeah. And you could teach those girls in the isekai world what ice cream is made of and how you make ice cream on your smartphone. It's
Exactly.
the greatest thing. That was the
Yeah.
best and the dumbest part of the smartphone isekai show.
Well, I've only seen the first 2 episodes and then I dropped it, but
You know what's
I
weird
dropped
about
it after
isekais?
3.
They somehow have the ability. I drop so many anime, but whenever I watch an isekai, they somehow have the ability to make me watch the entire thing. Like absolute garbage. Isekai, well, smartphone, the one with the demon lord, like all these like random harem things that I normally wouldn't watch. You slap isekai on it, and I end up watching the entire thing. I don't know what it is.
it is fascinating because they combine, the harem with a interesting journey into another world where anything is possible. So you're wondering, what's going to happen next? Oh, do you have this kingdom? They have that. There is a lot of curiosity there, and I think that's part of the charm.
Yeah, there's not even that there's an end goal, but rather because they're in a fantasy world, it is still an appeal to the world as well. You're interested maybe in the characters, but also the world as well. Like you said, like are they gonna conquer kingdoms? How high are they gonna go? Because like something like the smartphone one, I'm like how like insane is he gonna like? He had overpowered abilities, like ridiculous. I want to see how far he was gonna be able to take it within this world, you know?
Yeah, and it does get insane. Like in the first episode, he's like, "You have all the powers." Why? Nobody knows.
You got fucked over in your last life. You are now God. Like, maybe we should talk about like our favorite isekais. I feel like it all started off with Nux making a joke about what Animac wanted to title it, how isekai was destroying society, and then we literally talked about like deep issues within isekai or like within our world itself.
Exactly. That's exactly what I wanted, and I steered the conversation.
Sure.
God damn it.
Convince yourself that way.
Animac,
Yeah.
what do you think about Senko-san?
I'm not
You
familiar.
never heard of it.
Hey,
No.
Animac, what do you think about No Game No Life?
She's got a big tail. What can I say?
No
you
game,
know,
no life.
You
is
know,
fine.
the only reason why I heard of Sanko-san is because I follow Mother's Basement on Twitter, and Animac doesn't. So
Yeah, this is correct, and yeah, I don't know about this anime, or is it
great.
manga?
It's probably
Anime.
both. Yeah, but the
or
anime
it's a light
coming out-
novel. Let's be
Probably.
honest. Probably a light novel.
Oh,
Is it
probably
an isekai?
give it a few weeks. It'll probably be a dojin.
It probably
it
is already a dojin. Unless
Probably.
you've checked, in which case I don't know.
But is it an isekai?
It's
I
a
need
web
to.
manga.
Is it
The
an
everyday life
isekai?
of Nanako, a salaryman working for an exploitative company, is suddenly intruded upon by the fox Seiko-san, 800-year-old little girl. Whether it be cooking, cleaning, or special service? Question mark.
Oh my
She'll
god.
heal
Gamer
her
time.
exhaustion with her
Gamer time.
tender care.
That doesn't sound like an isekai, bro.
It's
Well,
a reverse isekai because
reverse
she's coming from the
isekai.
god world.
Yeah.
No, wait, that's just summoning. Like,
just
at literally
summoning.
every
No.
is Yu-Gi-Oh an isekai? Is that-
I summoned the dark magician. And you have like the whole
Yo.
alternate story of the dark magician's travel in this
Dude,
new world with
Naruto's
hair.
Every
Naruto.
single monster in Yu-Gi-Oh is from a different isekai world.
There we go.
Naruto's an
What we
isekai.
should
They summon their frogs and shit.
What we should do one day.
Is he Gamabunta walking around? Oh my god! I need a harem.
What we should do one day is do a bracket episode of hentai isekai.
I'll have to catch up on those. I'll have to watch some of those. You got any recommendations?
Well, just the ones with elf in the name are always going to be good. Like demon, usually
Oh god.
good bet.
Oh god.
According to Joy, you'd be a man of culture. What was that tweet? Did he
I
tweet
would
it
always.
out?
I check out Ugly Bastard. Something.
Huh?
Don't pretend hiding. Don't pretend like you don't know about these titles.
I know Ugly Bastard. That's like
got-
the
you
one
got-
thing that ruins every dojin.
You got isekaitis from something, bro. And
It's so funny. It's like Isekai tries to relate to weebs by making, this regular kid who happens to be a NEET who gets transported to another world. And I don't know what is Ugly Bastard trying to appeal to. Like, it's appealing to like these 50-year-old guys that, whatever.
I feel like now that you mentioned that, like how they're appealing to everyone, they get this random Joe. I think that's what I hate about like the one thing I dislike about Overlord. I would rather him just be this like all like the way they use comedy in a sense, like where Ein doesn't actually know like a plan, but then they use one of his servants or NPCs to explain the plan as if Ainz knew it, and they play off like he actually like has no idea what he's doing. I would way rather him actually just be a fucking like.
So
Like
the thing is,
God.
I'm not the hugest fan of Overlord. I like Isekai in general, but Overlord is not one of my favorites. As far as the other anime, though, in Quartet, Isekai Quartet, I like all other three better than Overlord.
Really.
Yeah. Konosuba, I think, is like masterful. ReZero, I think, is great. And Tanya the Evil is not bad, and Overlord's also not bad.
I haven't
But,
watched Tanya the Evil, but for me it would go Konosuba then Overlord.
I
I
have
love
to say
ReZero.
that-
Because as far as main characters actually not being the average Joe that you mentioned, Kazuma is amazing. He's like the pinnacle average Joe.
It's because you relate to him.
I do relate to him. He's amazing. I love him. And also Subaru. Subaru's also quirky in his own ways.
Yeah,
Like,
he's crazy though.
they
But I will
actually
say,
have personalities.
I will say, Nux, that Briggs, that I disagree with what you said about Overlord because I think it's hilarious that Ainz is a regular guy
And
who
that is
has
what I
to
like.
pretend and keep up appearances as this evil overlord and master planner. So seeing his and hearing his inner monologue as he's trying to keep up these appearances, I think is probably my favorite part in the whole show.
Really, that's my least favorite. I think they do everything else well, and it's my least favorite part's the comedy.
I do like that.
Nux agrees with me. What?
What?
Nah,
Never been
that is something I do like about Overlord.
I feel like that's it's just, like I can't really argue for that. It's just a subjective thing. I just don't find it funny.
Oh,
Well,
fair
you're
enough.
wrong.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I don't.
Whenever
What
whenever Animac hears the word subjective, he immediately tells other people how they're wrong.
Yeah, I don't like that. Take a side, bitch. No subjective.
I
He
took a
did.
side. I said it's
He
not
took a
funny.
side. He doesn't
I-
like it.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. In this case, I forgive you. But then,
What?
yeah, so there are a lot of isekai. Like the best ones have something unique, right? They have a twist. They have like a subversion or something unique to say. But I like a lot of them. I don't necessarily, I start them. I enjoy them for a while, but then I don't stay interested. For
I
example,
don't stay interested in, like, as you were saying, unless there's a subversion or something. Like, I feel like very often it looks like the isekai is gonna have a subversion. Like, Shield Hero, for example. It's like they all hate him instead of him being super popular. So
Yeah.
I was really excited about Shield Hero when I started it, but I kind of got bored of it. I'm not gonna lie. I did kind of get bored of Shield Hero.
Yeah.
What would you say made
It
it boring?
didn't-
Raftalia grew up.
I don't know. I felt like it went down a generic path from an interesting start. Unlike, say, ReZero, which definitely did not do that. It was playing into the horror elements and the thriller parts, and I love ReZero. I think it's a great show. Like,
yeah, like
as far as isekai anime though, Sword Art Online's first arc, Aincrad arc, I feel like does not get enough credit for what it is because they do tackle the most prevalent question of isekai anime. How some people want to go back, Laughing Coffin is trying to prevent that. They don't want anyone to go back. People are just acclimating to their lives. Why risk your life if you have a whole happy time here? And Kirito gets into this whole philosophical dilemma. It's only for like a few episodes and a few scenes in different episodes, but it's there in the Aincrad arc, which I think was one of its biggest appeals. Most isekai forget about that at this point.
I think the
think
first
that's
12 episodes.
fair. I think that's a fair statement. I my one problem though with that Aincrad arc is that the ending doesn't make a lot of sense necessarily, and the motivations of the
I'm not claiming it's a perfect arc, but as far as developing an isekai, I do think it did a good job.
I just wish it was longer, man. Like 12 episodes was nowhere near enough to tackle the entire world
14.
that they present. 14 to tackle the entire thing that they like the world they presented as well as like the topics you discussed right there. I feel like if they extended it to maybe a 24 or even like 50 episodes, I feel like they could have taken their time throughout, like flesh out the world, flesh out the characters, and even the topics that you were discussing right now on the whole like difference between virtual reality and so on.
With as
Yeah,
successful
so
as
in-
it ended up being, that would have been great for them too, because they
Yeah.
wouldn't have had to keep jumping around in all these other games that aren't as good as the original one.
Yeah, so that's a great point. I was gonna just bring that up too. It's like instead of exploring that one arc more, they created like a bunch of these arcs where they keep jumping into these different games, even though the crazy threat that was posed by the first one that would have like told everyone it's like don't do this. They keep jumping into different games, and I've seen all of Sword Art Online up to this latest arc, but then like 7-8 episodes into this latest arc, I dropped it. I lost interest. Same thing with the Slime anime. After the first 12 or 13 episodes, I was like, it's okay, but I'm not motivated to keep going. Shield Hero 2, I thought that they had some cool subversions at the beginning, but then when they started introducing the harem of the chicken girl and shit like that, I was like, why? Like, I like the idea with Raftalia and developing his relationship with Raftalia, but then they introduced the random, very, very cliche harem. And like you said, Nux, it became much more mainstream, and then I lost interest.
Right. So like I have a thing. I start every single goddamn isekai anime. I don't even mean to. But when I'm looking for interesting stuff, I'm like, guy gets transported into a fantasy world. I'm like, oh my god, this sounds amazing. So I always click on it. And I always watch the first episode and I'm like, okay, this was okay. It wasn't bad. If it subverts anything and if I actually feel like it interested me in certain ways, like Shield Hero, then I will continue it. If not, I'm like, okay, this was entertaining and I'll never get back to it, like Smartphone or whatever. But if it continues to retain this interesting subversion, where it doesn't just give in to the pleasures of what isekai anime has to offer, that's when I'll really start to love it. And I feel like it's a genre with a ton of potential because an isekai done right, it's so great for me.
Yeah. Like Konosuba, like Overlord, which I do enjoy a lot. ReZero, which I think is good, but not as good as you think it is. And No Game No Life, which you think is really good, and I think is just okay.
Right.
My favorite two isekai would be No Game No Life and Konosuba, 100%.
Unironically, favorite
Digimon.
best isekai is Digimon.
And Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh is only an isekai like on a good day.
What do you mean? They summon monsters, bro.
They come
Yeah,
from
but
different
that's a
worlds.
reverse isekai.
But
That's
I just
true.
wanna
That's
I just
true.
wanna point out that the Vision of Escaflowne is underrated. Who is Hitomi gonna pick? Alan Shazar or Von Fennell? Who?
Who?
All right.
Are you talking
Briggs,
about?
this is a this is a good time to mention One Piece.
Well, actually, One Piece is is an
Yeah.
isekai if you think about it.
Yeah, of course.
I have no way to segue this. Well, you see,
Well,
Brooks
Magi
is
had
actually from another
crazy-
world.
There we go. That explains everything.
His soul came from like
All right.
he died. I don't know.
He died.
did that. This is true. Can confirm.
Black
he did.
Isekai for Yami.
If going to another country is an isekai, then I guess so.
At this
It
point,
is.
all you need is like a boat. Oh, man.
Yeah. Do you want to become a protagonist of an isekai anime? Well, come on to Animax Ferry. It's taking you to another world.
You fools! That's brilliant,
Sky Island's an isekai.
dude. You just have an island that you call Isekai Island. You make it look like a fantasy world, and you go to Japan into like the finance district where it's all these salarymen. It's like, you have been chosen for an isekai. Only all of your money, and you can be transported into a fantasy world where
And you know
all
what
the
he's
people
and
come
you know
through.
you know what he's gonna tell you? Oh my god, I'm a neat and an otaku, and I've been waiting my entire life for this. I've never once touched a female.
Yeah, but then they'll be like, "How are you going to kill me?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna kill you. We're just gonna go on this boat." And he's like, "What?"
Boat, where's your truck?
Wait a second. Is this a scam? You're not gonna hit me?
You get
Like, if you're
transported
not
to
gonna
the.
kill me, bro. Then I'm not doing this.
They drop you off from from a plane, and then you realize that you're actually getting dropped into a battle royale. Apparently, there's someone who actually wants to do make a real life battle royale.
Mr. B.
We'll just wait for World War III and then we just draft all the Gen Zers.
Oh my god.
It'll work.
Someone's been commenting about Kenja no Mago like a million times. Have you guys ever watched it?
Nope, never.
No,
I mean,
no,
I might have.
no.
What's the English?
No idea.
Kenjo no Mago?
It's definitely not as good as Vision of Escaflowne.
Kenja no Mago. Oh, it's going on now. Is it?
It's another isekai that's going on now.
Currently airing. I don't know, man. Why is everything an isekai? It is going on now. No, I didn't even start it. I guess I didn't realize it was an isekai. Young man who Look at the description. A young man who has surely died in an accident was reborn in another world as a baby. As a baby.
As a
I mean,
baby.
It didn't need to happen. I hate. That's hilarious.
As a baby.
He could have just been born. Amazing.
That's what some people in India called born. After that, he was picked up by the patriot hero sage Merlin Wolfward. Oh, God. He was given the name Shin. He was raised as a grandson by Merlin and soaked up Merlin's teachings, earning him some shocking powers. However, when he became 15, his grandfather Merlin said, I forgot to teach him common sense. An abnormal boy's unconventional otherworld fantasy life starts here. Surprise! out of all the characters in the thumbnail of the anime, 75% are women, and one is Merlin Wolfward. Didn't see that
Oh my God.
coming.
No.
I mean, I didn't try it yet, so I don't want to say it's good or bad.
I
But
will say though, when you talked about Nux, subverting certain things, I feel like the one isekai that I can think of that subverts acts like literally nothing is Smartphone.
well, no, that of course that subverts. He keeps the smartphone. Damn it! If
Yeah.
he wouldn't have kept the smartphone, then what would we have done?
Outside of the stupid smartphone, he doesn't subvert anything. He's
You don't
overpowered.
He
understand. the
invented
deep
ice
philosophical
cream.
Messages. He invented ice cream, man. No, but there are a bunch that don't actually subvert anything. Like there was one recently, Death March, something. You remember that one? Death March.
Yeah, I
That
heard
was
about
also
it.
an
I
isekai.
didn't end up checking it out.
Also didn't subvert anything. Even the Demon Lord one and his army of bimbos. I'm pretty sure that was the title. That didn't really subvert anything.
I'm surprised you guys haven't talked about, or Nux hasn't talked about Log Horizon yet.
Well, what's to talk about? It's the best isekai anime after Digimon
Oh my God.
and potentially Konosuba.
Do you like Log Horizon more than No Game No Life?
Yeah,
Traitor. Okay.
Log Horizon's great.
It is
Because-
really good.
That's like the perfect isekai for an MMO. Most of the isekai we're talking about have like game mechanics, but they're not actual games. They try to convince you it's not games, even though we can only travel in a party of 6. Why? I don't know. Like whatever. Don't use up your skill points. Skill points, yeah. It's not a game. Don't get you confused. But Log Horizon actually keeps the game mechanics and the adventures, the characters in Log Horizon. There's no one really overpowered guy, and it really becomes a political anime where they're trying to, figure out their footing in this fantasy world. So I love Log Horizon.
And I gotta respect Goblin Slayer because Goblin Slayer is definitely basically a Dungeons and Dragons game, but
Yep.
they could have gone the isekai route, but they didn't.
Yeah, there are so many anime that at this point it gets confused. Wait, did the main character, was he first a NEET that died and was reborn as a baby? Or is it not an isekai?
Or
like-
is it just another normal fantasy
Like
anime?
basically, Danmachi, Dungeon Girls? Like,
Yes.
I've heard people call it an isekai anime, and it literally is not. Like, there's no isekai part to that anime. The main character, Belle, was born in the world, so, like, why isekai? Because
It's
Unless-
definitely an
line
isekai,
is
man.
huge.
Like,
The line actually
Unless-
gets confused these days since there are so many isekai anime. I think people
Yeah.
misinterpret isekai has nothing to do with getting transported into another world. It's this weird generic style that is seen in many places that's like, oh, that's an isekai style. Was it transported into another world? Who knows? I don't know.
Well, maybe to the girls in a dungeon anime, there is an OVA that is just 2 minutes long, and it just shows that he was a salaryman who got stabbed and transported
That
to
would
another world.
explain
A
everything.
2-minute OVA.
honestly, until you prove that it's not an isekai, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna assume that it is.
Yeah,
You know
Isekai
what?
is
As
the
I'm
you
new
know,
norm.
following that rule too.
even being born like as a baby in a fantasy world, even that is not a giveaway that it's not an isekai anime.
Yeah, because the baby has
The
been
baby could be a reincarnation of a salaryman in Tokyo that was also a NEET.
I think it was
Yeah.
most likely a reincarnation of a salaryman in Tokyo that was also a NEET. Like, most
The
likely.
average overpowered baby was hit by a truck.
The average overpowered baby. Just that part of the sentence.
Oh, hey, don't judge my OP analysis series, okay?
Apparently, there's gonna be an isekai next season where the male protagonist and his MILF mother get transported to another
Oh,
world.
God.
Power scaling with isekai babies.
subversion. MILF mother.
The hype is real.
Oh man.
Man, what is happening with
I
these
don't-
isekai?
I mean, I just went to the next season just for fun, and the first anime that's not a sequel, which has a long title, meaning it's a light novel, is about 17-year-old Hajime Nagumo is your average everyday otaku. However, his simple life is putting in all-nighters and sleeping in school has suddenly turned upside down when he, along with the rest of his class, is summoned to a fantasy world.
The rest of his class. Sounds like a subversion to me.
And like, I'm looking at the anime next. Oh my God, we're getting Dr. Stone and Vinland Saga next season. That's
I'm
hype.
so
Yeah.
excited.
Yep.
Damn, but everything else is an isekai.
I'm pretty sure both of them are isekai as well, right?
Although there are some good isekai. It's not like it's like Drifters is a good isekai. For
No,
example.
yeah, there definitely are good isekai. It's just that there are also isekai that when you hear the description, this has to be a joke, and it's like, no, it's serious. It's happening.
Yeah. But like it's the same concept they use in everything. Once one thing does good, like for example Sword Art Online in this case, there's going to be a large amount of clones that come out afterwards trying to like
And there's
piggyback
going to
on
be
the
a
success.
large amount of YouTube videos made on it.
Yeah. And then once one
It's
YouTube
always
video
so
does good,
sad.
then everyone copies
All
the
of us-
same YouTube video's format.
Yeah, well, it's hilarious though, because all of us here were after the SAO trend. None of us were able to jump on that hype train. We all started our channels post Mother's Basement.
Oh yeah,
That's where it
Post
ended.
Mother's Basement.
SAO was like back in 2013, right?
2012.
Yep.
Oh,
And
wow.
like, I mean, everyone got such good views off it. Makes you sad. Makes you sad.
Apparently reincarnated as a vending machine is a thing.
Oh yeah,
I
I've
really
heard of
hope
that
it's
one.
not.
Well, yeah, it is. It's
Subversion.
It's a subversion.
Oh, no.
I've never heard.
The Simpsons did the Love-matic grandpa, so he got reincarnated as a love machine.
Hype.
Now, Shinji's mom got reincarnated as a giant robot monster. Is that an isekai?
Clearly. It's a reverse isekai actually.
It is.
We haven't talked about the guy, the average salary man that got reincarnated as a slime, and within the world there's a Cinderella dragon.
That's true. That's a subversion.
I actually really like that anime. I read actually not Sword Art Online. Shield Hero. I almost said Sword Hero. Oh my god. And Slime Isekai. I read the manga for both of them. They're actually like I enjoyed both of them a lot.
Are you hold on, are you talking about Isekai wa Slime Phone?
Yes.
Oh,
That's actually a reverse isekai. Don't worry.
Wish I had a slime phone.
yeah. No, I mean I watched like the first arc of that, the first 13 episodes, but I haven't really been motivated to keep going. I do like that there is the like orc boob girl.
Or
But-
I don't remember.
That sounds like a dope character.
Honestly,
with
do
a
you
lot
want to know how isekai usually go for me? I watch the first 2 episodes. I get excited. I don't wait until the 3rd episode to come out, and I just read the entire manga afterwards. And once I catch up, I never read another chapter after that.
Big rip.
Yeah, that's a weird style, but okay. That's cool.
I don't
That's
have
what we call
patience for
doing the
seasonal.
Briggs.
Yeah.
Doing the brick.
Well, clearly I
Like-
wear tank tops, so I'm of a different like species.
And then he just goes and plays badminton sometimes.
Sometimes.
Hey,
Briggs.
badminton is a manly anime. Did you see that badminton anime that came out? Oh, it was all about women. Never mind.
Hey, Briggs, have you ever played badminton in a tank top?
But of course, that's what really
Well-
gave me my power. I've only ever really won with a tank top on.
That
That's
is
why I reached my limit with hockey because I couldn't wear a tank top.
That is literally why you earned the name Lord Brigo. Without the tank top and playing, badminton, you would just been Brigo.
Honestly, I think it's a combination of tank tops and a mustache. Like give you the name Lord.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree to that.
Yo, hiding. You want to talk about Clined?
Sure.
Clonad is not an isekai, guys.
Clonad after stories and
It is, though,
isekai
that
because they
robot.
scrapped the entire story and redo it in the last episode.
Oh shit! With the whole robot world, other world, I don't even know, man. Maybe it is an isekai. Oh shit! You just
You know what? I think the protagonist of School Days, after he was killed, was reincarnated into Tomoya from school.
I don't know, Nux. You just opened my mind, bro. Clonad could be an isekai.
Well, any anime could be an isekai. You never know if the main character was actually, as a baby, born from
true.
another world that was hit by a truck.
And
And
once
he
you're
was
including
trapped
reincarnation,
You also need an otaku.
like after
Sorry?
reincarnation enters the figure, who knows what's gonna happen?
I actually have an idea for an isekai, but I can't share it with you because I don't want you to steal my millions of yen.
Technically,
Well,
if you believe in reincarnation, then you believe every anime is an isekai.
Yes. Although, no, because
It'd be
it
the
would
same
be
world.
right?
Well, they have to retain the memories, or else it's just that's really flaunting it. You know?
Well, I think that's implying people can't reincarnate across timelines. Like if a god can teleport you after you die into another life, like I feel like they could probably just reincarnate you into a different world. You know?
If different worlds exist.
Well, I mean,
With
in
it.
anime land, multiple worlds exist.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, any other isekai that we need to cover, or anything else in general before we wrap this baby up?
Someone commented like, since something so popular like Sword Art Online can be replicated, why hasn't JoJo's been replicated? And I think there's a very like big difference.
How do you replicate JoJo? It's so unique.
Yeah, exactly. It's so unique that it can't
Speaking
be.
of JoJo's, have you seen the latest episode of JoJo's?
I'm a-
Risotto versus Doppio?
I'm a few
Briggs?
episodes behind because
I'm fully caught up, so I should.
Risotto versus Doppio.
What
That's
happened?
like one of the best fights in all of JoJo's. I think it's the best fight since Jotaro versus Dio.
Is the whole fight over?
What?
It's a 1-episode fight. The latest episode.
Is it the one with
leader-
like that little shark stand?
No, that was like a month ago.
No, but I'm fully caught up. Wait, what happened
No,
last
you're not.
episode?
The
No, I
latest
am.
episode.
The guy with
was
the assassin, yeah, and I'm not
metal
gonna spoil
guy?
it.
The
Okay, to
leader
be
of
fair,
La
there's a lot of
Squadra.
assassins.
Yeah.
the leader of La Squadra against King Crimson.
Yeah, no, that was a sick fight.
All right, I need to catch up. I
Especially
usually
with the tossing of those
blind-
knives.
Yeah, it was
That
epic.
ending was so
Epic.
cool.
I think it was the best fight in JoJo's since Dio versus
I don't know if I
Jotaro.
would go that far, but
You already know what my favorite fight in JoJo's is, Nux, and it's not even a fight.
I know. It's Animac X Kira's wife.
Kira's wife's got
I mean,
it
no,
going
but
on.
yes.
I know
Kira's
it's Darby. Darby versus Jotaro, but that was before Jotaro versus Dio. So
Yeah, true. But dude, Kira's wife is so hot.
okay, whatever.
she-
Let's end the stream.
She's such a bitch. But like then she might
Kira's wife killed the
Later
cat.
on,
That became the cat.
This is why Animac likes darkness. He relates to her.
Really? Animac, I didn't know you were a masochist.
I didn't either, but a lot like pretty much every girl
And
I've
then he met Nux Taku, a sarcastic demon.
like unironically I'm attracted to tsundere women in real life, so I think there is something wrong with me deeply.
I think that's
I'm,
a good way to end the stream, boys.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that was something.
That was interesting. I don't like. Did we even talk about Isekai?
Maybe.
I feel like we didn't talk about we talked about Isekai as a whole, but not actually like specific anime or didn't get.
Well,
into
we
the
did talk
specific
about
anime.
Isekai, but then Nux kept bringing it back to JoJo's.
What's JoJo?
Worth it.
Until JoJo's Part 9 becomes Jotaku, who is a salaryman in Japan and an otaku, and ends up being transported into a fantasy world where his stand is "Let's get it on," which makes him attractive to every woman. We can't call JoJo an isekai until then.
But Senko-san.
But Senko-san is a reverse isekai.
Yes.
Alrighty.
No, oh my
Well,
god.
thank you all for coming. It's been a pleasure. We discussed modern classics today, literally. And,
Like recreators. For
like
example.
recreators, a modern classic.
Potentially
Yeah,
the
we
best
still
Isekai of all time.
Recreators.
I don't think any of us actually finished recreators.
I honestly
know.
like I meme about it. I actually haven't even. I think I watched one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to like 14 or something.
Yeah, I got to like 14
Or 18, something like that.
So you
know.
guys put in the effort.
Yeah, I
did.
tried. Okay, if it's called a modern classic, you're gonna put your legwork in. Okay, it's like I'm expecting Huckleberry Finn, and I get recreators. Even though
What happened
Huckleberry
if
Finn
you
was
Google,
horrible.
if you're a listener of the podcast and you Google Recreators Modern Classic?
Do we have any
gonna-
reviews to go over, or
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
try
call it
that
a?
right. Oh yeah, reviews. Do we have any reviews? I like reading the reviews.
Well, if you want to read the review,
I'm actually
then yes, you can read the reviews. I'm sure there is some.
all right. Can you send me a link?
Yeah, I'll find it.
I'm
And
going to-
and fun fact, I know we were talking about like Lord Brigo before, but it's actually Lord D Brigo to everyone watching.
Oh, stop.
Mm.
You only brought up One Piece like twice today. You failed.
I had to do it.
I
And
looked up Recreators Modern Classic, and yes, the first hit is a good video.
We have over 200 reviews now, everybody, on iTunes for the Rant Cafe Anime Podcast. Thank you so much. And if you do want to help us out and leave a 5-star review, that would be cool. And you might have a chance for Nux Taku to read your review live.
Yay!
why am I the only one
Didn't like reviews,
being
but now
recorded right now?
All right, so Animac just sent the link to the reviews, the page that I've never gone to aside from when Animac has sent me the link. Okay, this podcast is my favorite seasonal anime. What? 5 stars? That's pretty cool. We're a seasonal anime, ladies and gentlemen. It's
Hey,
not
we made it.
Yeah.
So we're only relevant
not
for a
even
short
like-
amount of time.
Well, I think that this podcast is a literal embodiment of Isekai Quartet.
Huh?
Anyway, started working as a job that allows us to listen to music podcasts. Spent a whole week listening to you guys. Thank you for helping me kill some time and looking forward to more episodes. Keep up the great work. P.S. Monster the anime is great and is a great watch, and I do recommend. Monster is a great anime.
Yep, not an isekai, but a great anime.
Not an isekai, but a great anime. But technically, we don't know if Johan as a baby was from another world.
That's true.
It's a thriller. It's a
So,
thriller.
At this point, I think every anime is a potential isekai.
Yeah, if you can't prove that it's not an isekai, probably an isekai.
Luffy was
Right.
definitely isekai. He just doesn't know.
Right, well, we'll figure that out later. Spoilers, Brio. Anyway, next we have 5 stars. Slavic Adonis. Love the show. Has got me to watch some shows I never would have looked at otherwise. And totally won me over to Darkness Aside as best girl. P.S. Sorry for threatening to send you a Megamine figure, Animac. That's a good thread.
Thank you, Travi or Travy.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that.
Next, we have favorite anime podcast, 5 stars. Love the podcast. Also, One Punch! Insert music. I can't do that. We'll get copyright stricken, so I shall not. Instead, Animac will sing it.
Honestly, I thought you saying One Punch just then was a really good impression.
Yeah, that was great. Like
Well,
your
thank
voice will probably take days to recover, but it was great.
Nah, don't worry. I do this like all the time. It's scary though, because people around me, all of a sudden they hear this jolting One Punch emanate. But whatever.
Yeah,
It's like a spasm. I don't mean it. I don't even know when it's gonna happen, and then it just strikes. You know?
that would be a great experiment. You're just walking around in a busy city street with a bunch of salarymen and stuff, and you're just like, nobody knows who he is.
No, it's great. You just walk up to random people and just offer them a bro fist while yelling One Punch. Anyway, 5 stars. Make Tekking the 4th member. This podcast is great, but you know what will make it better if Tekking becomes the 4th member. The problem is we have way too many people that we want to make the 4th member, like hiding in public, for example.
Oh,
Absolute mad lad. But we can't really do that because then we'll end up with a podcast of like 30 guys and Recon and Recon
And-
will
and
block
Recon.
all of them usually have other stuff to do in their lives, unfortunately, than just
Like,
rank.
for example, Tekking today was watching Avengers Endgame while we are doing Rant Cafe, so he could not make it. And
But yeah, that's how we alternate our guests, right?
whatever. So we always alternate. Next, 5 stars, absolute madmans. This podcast makes me want to go into Nux's deep. It wants me to go Nux's deep into more anime.
Whoa.
I get it. I get it. Okay, but let's be honest, boys. When are we getting a best hentai tournament bracket? I think that's
Oh.
our number 200 or whatever. Anyway, awesome pod. 5 stars. Very fun. Much anime. Okay.
Much anime.
Rant Weeb Lords, 5 stars. As a member of the fan base. It says fan base, not fan base. That's suspicious. As a member, I guess that means the space fanboys. All day space fanboys. So. As a member of the fan base, Nux drew me into watching the Rant Cafe, but it being awesome and entertaining keeps me loyally tuning in every week. I'm honestly a filthy casual in the anime world, so you guys teach me a lot and keep me informed. All hail Lord Twigo and keep up the great work. Epic. All right, this is a longer one. This is a bad idea. 5 stars. If there was a Rant Cafe drinking game, some rules would include drink whenever one. Someone mentions Anime Uproar's glorious hair. #2, hashtag not a furry. 3, don't interrupt. 4, Nux agonizes over the fact that nobody has watched Gintama. 5, someone mentions One Piece. Finish your drink if has no business being involved in the conversation. 6, Nux pronounced Furumeto Alchemist the proper way. Love listening to the podcast while doing mundane tasks like cooking and cleaning. Love watching the YouTube channel while playing my Switch. Maybe try to get more women on the podcast. You know, girls don't actually have cooties, right? I know that.
Do you not realize that we are lonely Japanese salarymen who are also neat and otakus? You think we know girls?
Yeah, and also we have had women on here on several occasions. We had Sid Snap, we had Aki, we had Nawagata, and that was all our women, fam. I
Yeah.
think Did we have anyone else? Yeah, we had Miss Art.
Yeah.
When it was first starting, we had Simply Rose and Bryn's fandoms, right?
Yeah, we did. They came out on a lot, but not since we become a podcast. Also, I want you to read the title of the one by Chubb123.
Yo, I'm going in order, man. What is this in the past?
You just scroll down a little bit.
Chubb123. We have a lot of reviews, man.
Over 200 ratings. I don't know how many exactly reviews, but yeah.
I don't see a Chubb123.
It's Chubb, Chubb.
I know how to spell Chubb. I just can't find it.
Control F.
No, I'm on my phone.
Oh my god. This guy's such pleb. This guy's such a tech pleb.
Okay, I don't know, man. I'm
The
gonna
title-
keep going. I'm gonna keep
title
going in
starts-
order. I'm gonna keep going in order.
All right, just go in order. Just go in order.
Just go in order. This is an amazing podcast, but Magi is better. You all have to read Magi, and if you don't, then Lord Twigo will kill you or something. I'm gonna have to move faster because we have a lot of reviews. What an amazing podcast! 5 stars. Very cool. Very cool. Nux is best boy. Very cool. Animag is best hair. Briggs is a pirate king. P.S. Megaman is a viable option. Thank you.
Yes.
Hiding in public. You started that one.
Wow.
I'm so glad that
I can't
didn't-
believe that review had something for all
Hey,
four
I
of us who are
found
currently
Chubb.
here.
I found Chubbs. All right, so it says JoJo's 5 stars. I love this show and your guys' channels. You all convinced me to try JoJo's, and I haven't made it past part 1 yet, but I'm hyped. All right. I also would have dropped the show's first episode if I didn't hear such glorious praise from our Lord and Savior, Lord Twigo-sama Senpai.
Do you wanna make something-
Twigo-sama-kun Senpai Sensei.
Oh my
Also,
God.
please do a best anime fights bracket.
Yo, do you guys want to hear something
That's
like
what you wanted me to
amazing?
read?
So my cousin watched for the first time I ever watched a full anime season, right? You want to know what it was? JoJo's.
Yeah. Oh my.
I tried to get him into Seven Deadly Sins, Death Note, Steins Gate, like Kenichi, all these anime, and he watches like 5-6 episodes and stops every single time. The first anime he's ever completed, both part 1 and part 2 of, is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Well, it
Dope.
is pretty epic.
Well, Nux, I have to.
All right, I'm gonna read one of the reviews from last week because
But
I know
hold on,
hiding in
I have
public.
to
I
ask
like
you, Nux. I have to ask you to pronounce JoJo's properly in that review, the way it's written.
JoJo's. Happy?
Okay, there you go.
Anyway, next we have a simple riddle for anime. I'm small but not weak. Have 2 eyes, but you only see one. Have a point on the top of my hat, and I am definitely a viable option. What am I? Hint: I rhyme with Schmegamin.
I read that one. Kind
Dude,
of.
this thing is really taken off. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It's probably one of the biggest memes of Rant Cafe.
Yeah, screw you, hiding in public.
Yeah,
This is
that
why you
and the
got
clan meme.
Isekaitis.
that is probably why.
Well, my favorite review of the week is definitely by Trevi, 5-star Slavic Adonis.
All right, well,
Does
okay.
anyone
I wonder
disagree?
why.
I think it was
Yeah,
the
I would
last one.
say
No, that
Yeah,
was
that
from
was-
last week.
that was the
I
week before.
already offered him a free shirt,
Oh, cool.
but he didn't get out
I
of
like
me.
I like the bad idea one where it's the whole Rant Cafe drinking game.
I like that one too.
I think that was my favorite.
Fine.
Take
Either
the
of
shot
those
whenever
guys-
someone mentions Animax hair. Hashtag not a furry. Don't interrupt. Nobody watch Gintama. If anyone mentions One Piece, and if I pronounce Furumeto Rarukumistu the proper way.
All right, so either of those guys, if you want a free Anime Uproar shirt from AnimeUproar.com, hit me up on Twitter at Anime Uproar. I just said Anime Uproar like 8 times.
Cool.
Subscribe to All Day Anime.
Yeah.
Subscribe to All Day Anime. Links in the description if this is on YouTube to Hiding in Public, to Lord Brigo, to Lord Nuxenor, and to Animax spelled with a K.
Yeah. Spell my name with a K and spell fanbase with an M.
And that's the rule to life, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys for
Thank you
joining
all
us.
so much for watching.
Pleasure to be here, hanging out always every week. We'll be back next week. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.
Sono
stay
Chino
weird,
Sadame.
JoJo!